Okay, you got a bunch of parts here that are for the Odin install. Gotta get your fuel system ready. This is a Breeze Automotive vent kit. If you've ever put like an 03 Cobra style tank in a Foxbody, the venting system isn't enough for the tank, so as you're filling it with gas, it takes forever. This will stop that. Comes with the fittings and some hose. Here's the Ford Innovations fuel hat. Despite what's going on the internet, they still make a pretty badass product. This is for two 285 fuel pumps. I'm gonna have a 10 feed and an 8 return. Also, I have a year 1 03 Cobra fuel level sender. So to make this work, you have to be very careful and get this metal bracket off of the plastic part here. These little, I don't even know what you call them, clips, whatever, they break really, really easy. I've busted a few of these over the years. So just be real careful when you take it apart, and then you pop it into this fuel pump module. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And last but not least is the year 1 tank. This tank is way nicer than the On3 tank. That's all because of this right here. That's the Foxbody filler neck. You don't have to do any adapting, cutting, welding, nothing. This tank's been sitting at a friend of mine's house. So that's all taped up. So I need to buy the grommets. I have a new tank in my car already, but I'm gonna end up buying the new one, another new one, and throwing it in here. Also, that kit from Breeze, this is the rollover, that's the rollover valve. Probably not supposed to get the BB out of it. But anyway, when I put that together, I'm gonna put some Teflon tape on the threads. But that's that. All right, for this Cobra sending unit, like I said, these plastic clips break very, very easy. And they bolt, that thing is gonna snap into here and here, like this. So just real lightly with your fingers, and kind of spread these apart and then push out. See, that side's now out. Wrap your fingers behind this so it doesn't fall and hit the ground, because it'll probably break if you do. Kind of do the same thing on this side now. And there it is. So now if you look, the little middle rod part, it's going to snap into here. Of course, mine isn't fitting in there. It doesn't fit in either one of these little holes. So what I'm going to do is get a drill and just knock that hole out a little bit more. Okay, I used a 5/64 drill bit to knock, once again, that little hole out right there just a little bit more. That's it, it's installed. And then this will plug in directly to that. Everything's going to be clipped into place. All right, that's for your fuel level. This is heat shrink, so I am gonna get my little torches at a buddy's house, so I'll just go get a lighter and heat that up, and then I'll show you how to put it in the tank. Okay, so this only goes on one way. If you look here, there's a little notch and a little notch. So that has everything lined up. However, it does not line up with the holes in the bottom of the fuel hat for centering that gasket. So I believe I'm gonna have to cut one of these off flush. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so that front plastic piece right here, that's not gonna work. And neither is the back one. It's not in the right position for the fuel hat, so the gasket doesn't sit right with all the bolt holes. So I'm gonna get a razor blade and just trim that flat on both sides, front and back, and then I'll start installing it in the tank. So get your fuel pump set up with your fittings going forward. Oh shit. Alright, we're gonna try this again. Okay, as you go to cram this thing in there, hold on to the plastic part of the fuel level center. You're gonna have to hold it over here and kind of pinch it together so it doesn't come off. Also, you don't want to break those tabs. You have to squeeze the sockets on the fuel pump also to make sure it doesn't, or so it'll slide in. Then get you a 5mm Allen wrench or a socket. All I'm trying to do is get a couple of these in so I can center up the gasket. I did have to cut all the little plastic tits off of it because none of them lined up with these other holes. I guess that's a fail on the China people that make this, or Taiwanese. Okay, so as you put it in, hold on to that fuel level sender because it just has cheap plastic clips. I did have to cut the 4 tits off that gasket. It put the bolt holes over too far on some of them, so it was just easier to cut all of them off. And then I'm starting all of these with the gasket in place. Just going hand tight for now. Other than that, everything went together pretty easy. Hit up LMR for your new gaskets. And then Breeze Automotive for the big bore vent kit. That way you can fill your gas tank quicker. And that's about it. That's how you put a 4 fuel pump into a Year 1 03 Cobra tank.